Hi everyone, so today we'll be trying out Spellbinders large die of the month, the stencil, and the your standard embossing folder of the month for July of 2025. All very Christmassy and super adorable. I already did a whole unboxing, measurements, things like this in a previous video, and I'll link that video in the description box for you guys. But I will say these items were sent free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and the links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So thank you for using those if you would like. Yeah, I just figured, the way you're supposed to open this guy up at the very top, so it looks like the little mug has like steam coming from it. You have these bits, and I thought, why don't we make it open up from the stencil to the embossing, or the embossing to the stencil, however I want to do that. So we will get to that in just a moment, but we're going to make our cute little hands, arms holding cocoa, maybe a latte or something like that with latte art, whatever it is that you want to do. But I did show you guys in the initial video, you have, the little hands, the arms, the cuffs, the accent pieces for your gloves and everything. And then it looks like it's holding a little mug that can have a little snowman art, or, your Santa Claus. These would be really cute for tags. I think they'd be adorable to add these onto tags, these little icons. And then you have also just like a snowflake. Super cute. Everyone has everything. The little snowman, he's decked out with his little arms. He's got a scarf. He has his little hat and everything, And then, of course, our Santa. And I think I did Santa recently on one of the other cards. Yeah, for the mugs. So I think maybe today we'll use the snowman for our art, just to have something different. And then you have your cuff, and then you have the words warm cocoa wishes. So I'm just going to jump right to it, grab some card bases and like things to go along with that, and some ink and some paper. We'll start with the card base, and then we'll go on to doing our cute little vignette. Okay, so I just grabbed some scraps of paper here. We'll start off making a card base. I think I'm going to go with the cream color. Like, why not? I know with Christmas I usually go with like whites and red, maybe a black background, but I'm going to do a cream colored one. So 5.5 inches tall. Oh, I believe this paper's already 8.5 in the other direction, I hope. And so I'm going to score it at 4.25. And then I want this to open up from stenciled paper into the embossed paper. Actually, I'm going to fold it the other way, sorry. And so I'm just going to use a piece of white cardstock here at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then maybe our topper should be a cute, fun color. I hadn't planned on that part yet, so let me grab a piece of cardstock for that. Okay, I just grabbed this one here, and same thing. Let me see how white this is right now. Yeah, it's okay. So 5 3/8 in this direction by 4 1/8. Okay, so there's a few things I'm going to do before I add this to our card base. This one I'm simply going to run through the embossing folder. So even though it looks like white in the background, like that's your little steam, it's going to have this cute little kind of Fair Isle ugly sweater pattern, if that's what you guys want to call it, but Fair Isle pattern. And again, this is your standard embossing folder, so whatever machine you use, just run it through as a standard embossing folder. If you're using the universal plate system, that would be the A plate, the B plate, excuse me, your A plate, your B plate, right, A, B, and then just one cutting plate. Okay. And that is gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. That's your emboss side. This is your deboss side. This paper I used wasn't the heaviest weight paper. It might be 85 pound, I think. And that worked really nicely. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to put this to the side without closing it, so it doesn't make a lot of sound for you guys. So this one I'm going to glue right now. Why not? I was like, why is my glue open? It's because I just finished up another tutorial, and I must have used my glue. That was a little scary for me because I thought, did it stay open all night? Totally forgot I just finished up another video. Okay, so I'm going to hold that. Just for a moment. Look how pretty that is. I mean, with a sentiment, good to go. That's gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of weight on top of that while it's sitting. And this guy, let's do a little inking on that. Funny enough, my daughter was painting and I gave her one of my mats here to paint on. Let's take this guy. If you have a grip mat, you know, great time to use it. I'm going to make this very simple because we're going to do a lot on top of it, right, with little hands and all that. So although your stencil of the month has all this beautiful layering to make like an ugly sweater pattern that we talked about, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, and it looks awesome all together. Hope you can kind of see the way the light hits through. So cute. I'm just going to use this guy, and it has kind of like a knit look to it. Sorry, it's kind of early and I haven't had my tea in my throat. My voice is already wanting to give out on me. Right now that the kids are on summer vacation, I get up, try to get up, you know, around 5:30, 6 o'clock to make videos. So we can just hang out the rest of the day. So I'm going to take this. And so I make a ton of videos when I wake up. I don't want it to be like too dramatic, so I'm just going to go with like a lightish kind of blue. And I'm just going to come in here and do my stenciling. And again, I like to make it a little organic. I don't really like try to press too hard to really just saturate the paper. But, you know, whatever it is that you like to do. And maybe for this one, maybe you want it to go from light to dark, which I probably should have done. Or dark down here, up lighter. Either way. But I'm pretty much doing some fun stuff. We're going to cut this top portion out of it anyway. So just leaving it kind of highs and lows of like dark and not dark. It looks cute. A little more organic, like I said. Okay, and then we want to take those guys. Sorry. Sound like a zipper and there's no zipper around. That's interesting. Just one little bag that makes that sound. Okay. And these guys. So I don't know if we can run them both at the same time. I guess it probably doesn't matter because you're going to put your cup in here. However you want this to look. Something like that. Keeping in mind, you know, how the little arms are going to be coming in and the cup and all that. So, I mean, I'm just putting it towards, let's see. Let me think. If I want this all the way down here, possibly. And then the little gloves and the cup. That should be okay. Maybe even a little bit higher up. I'm thinking this is like at the top 2 inches. That looks good. And I'm just going to tape these. Again, not to be overlapping because we don't want them to run into each other. But yeah, I'm saying this is within about the top 2 inches of this. I'm going to run that through and I'll be right back. Okay. And again, my toppers both were 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 because I like eighths. So if you don't care to measure eighths, you can do 4 by 5 1/4. You can just matte layer the whole top, you know, whatever it is that you like to do. That'd be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I have this little piece, and honestly, that's not going to show anyway, so I'm just going to notch that off. And basically, this is going to go on top of this, so you're only going to see that little bit at the very top. But I just thought, you know, to give it texture. You don't have to do that at all, of course. And I'm not going to stick that down quite yet. Actually, maybe I should. I will. I will. Go ahead and glue that down. Let me put some of these things up. And, oopsie. Now I'm going to grab some sweater looks to go with, you know, the blue, maybe some green, something festive. I don't know. I've been doing a lot of blue and greens recently on these cards, maybe because it's still summertime as we're working on Christmas in July. And I'm thinking of those bright colors. I love pinks and reds for Christmas cards, or even purples. It's fun. Just something unexpected, you know, like little gumdrop type feel to it. Okay, so I'm going to put some weight on this while I pick out colors for some of these other pieces. So let me show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so, you know, we already did that. Your sweater sleeves, you know, you're going to see a little bit of the background. So like, what do you want for that? So you're going to cut some out for a base layer. And then you can cut this out again with this guy matte layered. Let's pretend I'm not going to do the light blue because I already did that, but we're gonna put these in here, and I think they sit a certain way. I'm not sure. You can probably mix and match them. They're exactly the same, possibly. Tape that down so it doesn't move, right? And run those through so you'll have your inlay layer with whatever color it is that you're wanting to do that. I already have some white paper here, so maybe I can work with the little snowman here. So white for the snowman body. His hat and his nose are both, not all, but both on the same thing. So if you want to use black, maybe run it through black and orange, right? So he has a little carrot nose, which is what I will do. So I'm running through some black paper. I have the smallest scrap of black paper here. That'll work for me. Actually, this one would be even better. I don't know why I still have these little pieces here. I'm trying to not do that anymore, but there you go. And then I'll run it through orange also later. And then his little, scarf and his arms, I'll probably run it through some brown paper and then through some red paper because, the red really pops for his little scarf. So that is our little penguin, or snowman, my goodness. There's a penguin, but he's in a different set. Let me put this stuff to the side. So yeah, I'll just pick 2 colors for my sweaters here. And then you have, your sweater also has, actually, where are these cuffs? Okay, hold on. We have this portion here, but this is the portion for these guys. So, I hope I didn't bring this from a different set. It might have belonged to something else. Or maybe possibly if you don't want to, no, you have to put the gloves on. Unless you want to use it for here. That's interesting. I don't really know what those are for, guys. It looks like the cuffs on his, just here, at the base. But then those are too. Maybe it's just a different option. See how this one's kind of like thinner, a little different. And this one's just kind of thicker. So I suppose whatever you want to use on that. The gloves. Okay, so what I want to say about the gloves is that you have this piece, the background, right? It's going to hold everything. And then you have accent pieces. So this, I know it looks kind of funky. I guess it goes like in here, right? You see this? It looks like shoes. That's why it's hard to... So this portion goes on this inside portion. So you would probably want like a deeper color so it looks like it's inside the gloves. And then this piece comes up, and I know it looks kind of funky. It's hard for me to envision this. This piece goes up and around here. So the way they use in their example is like, let's say red, darker red, and then back to the same red color. Okay, so however you want to work that is up to you, but a deeper tone of whatever you're doing, or maybe you want the inside of the gloves to be white or whatever, but whatever color. This one goes in the middle and this one kind of goes on top like that. Okay, and then your cuff, right? So again, these cuffs are these cuffs, whatever it is you want to use. And then our mug and everything. So the mug, I think I will just cut this out of black but white. I mean, a festive red, whatever it is you want to do for your mug color. And then this one can be your cocoa color or, latte, whatever it is that you want. So I'll probably cut it from a deeper brown so it looks more like cocoa. And I'll be right back. So I always say, fit as many pieces as you can on whatever you're using to cut with. And, unless you have a repeat, you're going to get this cut out generally in one pass a lot of times. But I have these pieces here. So again, I did have to repeat like the little carrot nose, which I hope I didn't just misplace. I saw it. It was sitting here. There it is. Okay, let's get that placed before I misplace that. I'll get a little bit closer here. Sorry. I'm not going too fast for you. Okay, so I'm going to take my little nose, put a little glue here. I will say, these are small characters. Obviously, they're going to go inside like the little mug there. You can run it through again and then pop in like the black buttons and his little eyes or whatever it is. But I'm not going to paper piece that because they are small and I just rather not. There is an indentation there that shows you where things need to go. But what I'm going to do is just take a scrap of like black paper like this one and put it behind the buttons and put it behind his little eyes, which don't need that much, but I probably need to trim this down a little bit so it doesn't stick off the side of his head. Okay, I'm going to turn this over and just put a little glue behind here, just in there. And again, no rhyme or reason on that, just other than it's big enough to fit behind, small enough to not poke out. And look at that. perfect eyeballing on that one. So there we go. Oh my gosh. He is so cute. And then he has his little scarf. So I'm just going to bring that little glue there and get this little scarf going. That is adorable. Every little bit. I have a little orange hat from when I cut the orange portion out, but we don't need that. And then his little hat, you know, do you want it right on top at a jaunty angle, whatever it is you like. So I just put a little glue and I'm just going to pop this on top of his head. That is adorable. And then his little arms that are still in the die over here. So we'll have that guy all put together in no time. I did run this die through twice so I can get the red, you know, his scarf, and then just there's some brown that was a different brown because I was going to use the same one from before, from the drink. And I thought, oh no, that's not good because he's going to be on top of that drink. And his arms will just like fade away into that. So don't want to do that. Again, this little guy, you can cut out tons of him. He's adorable for tags, for, you know, cards, wherever it is that you want to put him. I should pay attention to how far out I'm putting his little arms because obviously he needs to be within the drink portion there. Oh. So this is that. Yeah, a little further in. He's such a cutie. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so again, I cut this out of black paper, kind of like a chocolatey brownish paper on this one. And I'm just going to glue him down on there, but you can pop him up definitely. Oh, he looks like a little floaty marshmallow. That is so cute now that I think about it. My kids like to get those around Christmas time. Okay, and then these guys, you're just going to glue them together. So again, this is the inlay. I did white for the background because I figured it would pop, and then the darker blue for the sleeves that contrasts with my card base over here. All right. So I'm just going to glue those guys together. And, you know, again, this has its own little ribbing. So if you want... Oh, I didn't make the gloves, guys. I was like, something seemed too quick. Sorry. I got to make my gloves. This fits there. You know, the gloves have their own... You can have the set of gloves that are just like that. You can have them so that they're here. I think that's why they give you different options on that. But I'm not going to glue this down yet because I don't know exactly where that's going to go. So let me glue these two. I'll keep the cuffs to the side. And I'm going to cut out the gloves. Okay, guys, so we have our pieces here, and then I just did the gloves, and I don't know, I just thought, okay, let's make it look like a utilitarian kind of glove to go with this blue and the, you know, I don't know, so I did that silver lining. I don't even know if it's usually showing whenever you have those gloves that are supposed to be, like, much warmer or whatever. I don't live in a place where I would need to wear gloves at all. So, let's see here. Let's put this guy here. So hopefully you can kind of see the indentations, right, on those. So this guy kind of goes in here. And the intention is that your little mug kind of just sits in this area. But if you want to, I don't know if that would work, but if you know, if it would look right. But if you want to make it so that the little mug goes inside this area, I guess you could do that. But it's kind of just sitting like this. Also, I just went with the same shade of black, but if you want to, you know, do like a dark gray or something like that, right? That'd be great too. I'm just following that line here. So that guy, and then this one. And maybe I should have made the mug a different color since I went with black gloves, but you know, I was just going with it. We'll see what that looks like. Or a shiny mug, right? A shiny black, that'd be nice. And I just want you to see that little mango shape, the little pointy part goes up. Right, okay. And then again, you have your cuffs. So, I think I'm gonna make it so this guy goes here, and this guy goes there. But if you wanted to decorate it here, you could do that. I assume it's like something like in here. It just depends also how high or what you want to do with your sleeves. Your sleeves, you can definitely, you know, line them up at the bottom of your card and then cut off the excess. I didn't really plan for that. I kind of judged it by having the whole sleeve there, right? Whenever I judged where the little steam should go. So I don't mind that at all. How cute is that? Oh my gosh. I'm just looking at how close I should put these guys. Or not. Something like that. Cute. Okay. They're delicate right now because I didn't really glue these down. Obviously. So I'm going to put that down. Right in here, hopefully, somewhere like that. And I'm just lining up for the base of my cardstock here. This is really cute, guys. Kind of reminds me of that one with the slippers, the little legs, which is also adorable. Okay, something like that, and then this guy can be like in here. Oh, that's so funny. I don't know if it's so funny, but I think I should have made it like that because it's a little... Actually, I guess it doesn't matter. You can make it look like that. It can be sideways. Think about where this little cup should go. You know what I'm saying? I put him probably in a way that I would want the little handle somewhere else. Let me think if I can take him off. No, I better not. Okay. Anyway, just keep that in mind. And actually, that's going to drive me nuts. Okay, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to run that back through some other paper. And then, you know, I'll do a different mug color. Let's do a red mug. So I'm just going to take this off. Sorry, guys. I totally forgot to think about where that was pointing. So I'm going to rip this part off. Oh, somebody was telling me, what's that stuff? Some glue. Is it called Undo? Something like that. And you just kind of put it on there. I've never used that stuff. I don't know what it's called, I can tell you, but supposedly it's for something like this. You kind of let it go in between the layers and it'll help you remove that. Okay, so I'm going to run that same dye through red cardstock, and then I'm going to go ahead and put these guys on here. Cute. Okay, and I'll pop the other one on the opposite side, and I'll be right back. Okay, just ran that through, and I'm just going to glue it down first so it looks like the little, you know, like your hand's kind of in there, I suppose. Okay, cute. And then let's put this little guy on. No one's gonna know that the back looks like that, guys. And there we go. Oh my gosh, he is so cute. Yep, there you go. And our little steam, you know, however you want to do your steam, obviously you can play with that quite a bit. I could have brought the arms down a little bit more, you know, whatever it is that you want to show, however you want to position that. And then we also have this warm Cocoa Wishes piece here. So I'm just going to run that through a color that I think would look great on here. I think I'm going to put it down in this area, but I mean, you can put it wherever you like. A background color possibly, and then whatever topper color I want, I'm going to, you know, tape those down with some washi so it doesn't move, and I'll have that portion too. Excuse me. I'll be right back. Okay, like I said, I ran it through white. And I ran it through just the red that I used for the mug just to bring that color back in. And so the intention of these kinds of dyes is that it pushes all the way through. And if for some reason there's a little bit left, I usually just take like my little tool and kind of just clear it out. But this came out perfectly pushed out. And so I'm just going to, again, you can just glue those together like that. You can drop shadow a little bit, which I might do today. Let's see. Let me see if I drop shadowed that at all. Okay, I'll drop shadow a little bit down into the left, like bring that white piece out towards the left here. So I'm just going to put some glue in here. And like there. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals behind this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so dimensionals in the back of that guy, and warm Cocoa Wishes right there. very cute. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, if you're watching this video, if you're a new sign up for the Spellbinders clubs, you can do that already up until there's a blackout period towards the end of the month. If you're a current club member, you get 10% off the site as you shop, but you can always sign up and just cancel it the next day if you only want that one. You know, you don't have any like commitment that you have to do like 3 months or 6 months or anything like that. It can be canceled the next day, guys. So just something to think about. I always mention that in my videos just because I do get questions about that. So thanks for watching, guys. I will have images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.